We got my boy Jimmy High Roller. We just witnessed one of the greatest seasons of all time. Let's see what my dog got to say. I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's been a minute since I've seen a Jimmy video. Matter of fact, before we start this video, how long it's been since Jimmy made a video, dog? I feel like it's been like 2 months. Yeah, 3 months, bro. Damn, I ain't gonna lie, my dog Jimmy. Hey, I mean, it kind of hasn't been really much content, bro. Like, unless you would have just made like playoff content, but I ain't gonna lie. Let's see what he got to say about this. I know he's gonna pull out all of the advanced metrics and all type of shit. So let's see about his take on the OKC, the 2025 OKC Thunder, man. Let's see.
I'd be lying if I said we didn't see this coming.
We really didn't. I had Boston repeating.
A record-setting team who's been the overwhelming favorite to win the title this season for practically the entire season, winning the title. This is not an underdog story or one riddled with ups and downs, capped off with an improbable rise to glory. But it should have been. One of the youngest teams in the league with relatively little experience, aiming for a prize their franchise has only come within reaching distance of once before. Instead, this was a 100-game slaughter, a season of blowouts, absurd margins, awards, and shattered records. A season so dominant that skepticism turned into optimism, which quickly became expectation. And yet the 2025 OKC Thunder didn't just meet those expectations, they obliterated all of them. Because the Thunder aren't just champions, they have now completed one of the greatest seasons of all time.
I ain't gonna lie though. I ain't gonna lie. To think that OKC had all of these expectations, I don't know. I thought Boston was the favorites to repeat. I didn't know. I mean, I don't know like what the betting odds was. He might bring that up, but I wonder. I mean, I guess he said it. OKC was the favorites to win the chip this year, but I wonder how close was Boston like behind them, like in terms of repeating. Because but Boston was my team to repeat, bro. To be honest, like I didn't think anybody was gonna beat Boston, bro. When it came down to it in a 7-game series, I didn't see anybody beating Boston. A fully healthy Boston Celtics, mind you. Fully healthy Boston Celtics. But shout out to OKC, though. I fuck with OKC. I'm glad my dog Shea got his MVP, got him a ring.
Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek. It's only on SeatGeek.
I love that jump ahead feature.
Throughout the history of the NBA, 79 different teams have been crowned champions. 79 teams that beat the odds and achieved basketball immortality. But even among champions, there's an even more exclusive club. Teams that didn't just win a title, but set entirely new standards on what is achievable in a single season. Of these 79 title-winning teams, only 8 of them achieved these 3 key metrics: a net rating of at least 10, an average margin of victory of at least 10, and at least 65 wins throughout the regular season. Those teams are the 71 Bucks, the 72 Lakers, the 92, 96, and 97 Bulls, the 08 Celtics, the 2015 Warriors, and the 2017 Warriors. These 8 teams are basketball royalty. So
damn, look at Jordan, boy. That's the Jordan effect, boy. Back to back, like I'm Jordan, 96, 97. Whoa, I ain't gonna lie. You know what's crazy? Now that Drake line is way harder now, bro. Cause the fact that these is literally considered, as far as these metrics go, the 2 greatest seasons, or 2 of the greatest seasons of all time. In the down of Drake versus 96, 97. You know they three-peated. These 2 seasons made it. Even none of the Shaq and Kobe. Damn, the Shaq and Kobe three-peat didn't meet this metric for greatest seasons of all time. The 08 Celtics did, which is interesting. Actually, maybe this would be a good video right here if Jimmy wanted to do like a breakdown on this 08. So I didn't know this 08 Celtics team was that good. That's crazy. That's interesting. 92 Bulls. That's Jordan. Yeah, that's Jordan. That's the first three-peat. And then the Bucks. I think that's Kareem when Kareem won his chip. 72. What is Magic? It's Magic chip right here.
So dominant that winning a championship was more of a victory lap than it was a testament to just how great they were.
No, that's Wilt. That's the Wilt Lakers.
And without exception, all of these teams are regarded as the greatest teams or single seasons in NBA history. And now, a 9th team has been added to this exclusive club: the 2025 OKC Thunder. But to say they have simply entered this club would actually be an understatement, because throughout the 2025 season, the Thunder finished with the 6th best record of all time, the 2nd highest net rating of all time, and the largest...
That's crazy that Golden State was so high, and these niggas, This is the only team out of this whole list that did not win the championship. Well, I don't know about the whole only team that didn't win a championship, but I'll say I know this is one of the teams. I know this Golden State team didn't win a championship, which is crazy to think. 73 wins and didn't win a championship. It's insane.
Margin of victory in the history of the league.
Damn.
By all measurable accounts, the 2025 Thunder have asserted themselves among some of the greatest seasons in the history of the league. In fact, they weren't just beating everyone. The Thunder spent the last 9 months completely eviscerating teams. In the NBA,
Belt
a
ass.
20-point victory is cited as a blowout. On 29 different occasions, nearly a third of all of their games this season, the Thunder were up on their opponents by 20 points or more by the end of the third quarter, which means 1 in every 3 games was already deemed a blowout before the fourth quarter even started. As the season progressed, the rapidly approaching realization that this team may just be having one of the greatest seasons of all time became clearer with each monumental beatdown.
Nah, it was crazy. I could definitely attest to that because I would bet on like Shea points. And I knew if he didn't get whatever line I bet on him by the end of that third quarter, it was cooked because he wasn't playing the fourth. No cap. He wasn't touching the fourth quarter, bro, at all. It's only a couple of fourth quarters he played. I mean, obviously, like the 2/3 of his games that weren't blowouts, but you got to think they only consider a blowout a 20-point game. To me, my definition of a blowout, I'll say like 12 to 13 or more, bro. Like, so you got to think that's crazy, bro. That's
MVP
crazy.
and scoring champion, a 23-year-old All-NBA guard by his side. Not one, but 2 all-defensive juggernauts. A rotation so deep, you'd swear they just subbed in another starting unit. It didn't take an analyst to know we were watching something special. In fact, by the time the playoffs rolled around, a very uncomfortable conversation quickly followed.
They are 4 wins away, Demonze, from one of the single greatest seasons in NBA history.
Like they've won 79 games between the regular season and the playoffs. They could be as extravagant and arrogant as they wish. They just aren't.
Are we seeing the potential of an all-time great team here?
The NBA should be worried.
Is this team truly one of the greatest teams ever? Or at the very least, are they having one of the greatest seasons ever? A dialogue that was routinely and justifiably shot down every time it came up. To even enter that discussion, they first had to win a championship, something that we've seen countless good teams fall short of. But not this one. Checking the final box on a season that is now certainly in that rare and exceptional group. But of all the things this Thunder team has in common with the greats that came before it, how they managed to pull it off is what sets them apart. Among the requirements of nearly every championship team are talent, depth, defense, execution, and experience. Historic fashion isn't nearly convincing enough if you haven't proven yourself in the playoffs. And as we all know, the road to a championship usually takes years, with countless casualties along the way. Players coming and going, heartbreak, entire roster identities changing in search.
So before I continue this video, is it safe to say that this notion that you need to have playoff experience and you need to do this, that, and the third to be considered ready for the moment, is it safe to say that's overrated? Because this OKC team, outside of really the most thing that they changed from this year, from last year to this year, I mean, really the health of Chet, which, I mean, Chet even still was hurt a good portion of the season, but I would say the postseason health of Chet, the addition of Caruso, and the loss of Giddey, and I'm trying to think, Hardenstein, the addition of Isaiah Hardenstein. Really, those 3 things, and I'm saying, obviously, you got a couple more things, but the emergence of Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, these type of guys, but the main 3 things I would definitely say would be Hardenstein, Caruso, and Chet's health. I mean, is it safe to say that experience is overrated? But at the same time, maybe you can't say that because maybe them losing to Luka last season was valuable experience for them now going into, especially it was down to the Nuggets. They was down 2-1 in that series. And the same thing with this Indiana series, they was down 2-1 at 1.2. So maybe that experience of losing to Luka, or even earlier this playoff run being down in that Nugget series, that experience helped them to win the championship. I don't know, bro. I may be willing to say that, bro. all of this, oh, well, you need to be, they're too young and they don't have enough experience. I think that shit might just be overrated, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Dead might just be overrated.
For a winning formula. But this team didn't just win it all. They won it way faster than they should have. Over the last 30 seasons, the average age across the NBA is about 26.8 years old. Throughout that same time span, the average age of championship-winning rosters is about 2 years older at 28.8 years old. Championship rosters are usually comprised of players with more experience, they're more battle-tested, and in many cases have spent years falling short of a championship before they finally achieve their ultimate goal.
I ain't gonna lie, this Golden State team was young as, oh no, this is Cleveland. This is the 2019 Cleveland team. This team was young as shit. I ain't gonna lie, this 15 Warriors team was kind of old, 29. This Heat team was old as hell. The Jordan Bulls, them niggas was type old. Yeah, what is this? This is the Lakers, right? Yeah, the 2020 Lakers, the bubble Lakers. They was kind of old. I ain't gonna lie, the Nuggets was young as hell when they won the championship. They was young too. Who's this? The Pistons, the 04 Pistons. They was young. Interesting.
The 2025 Thunder being the exception, with an average roster age of just 24.8 years old.
Damn.
By far, the youngest team to win a title in nearly 50 years.
That's what I'm saying. The experience shit might be overrated.
Don't even have a single player, let alone an entire roster this young getting minutes in the playoffs. So not only have the Thunder just put together one of the most complete and dominant seasons the league has ever seen, they did it about 4 years ahead of schedule. So what is next for a team that essentially checked off every single box in a season?
They about to start going crazy. Dynasty, y'all about to say.
Proving they can do it again.
Yeah.
Over the last few days, the word dynasty has been thrown around.
But
what it means to be a dynasty.
I wonder if he's gonna address the second apron, because in recent years, it might have been able to say, okay, OKC is creating a dynasty. However, it's gonna get to a point where you gotta pay these niggas. And what happens then? You know what I'm saying? So I wonder if he's gonna address that. That's crazy. Houston is number 2 in the title odds next season. That's interesting. Damn, Detroit ain't nowhere. Hey, I got Detroit winning the chip next year, bro. I ain't gonna lie, on some long shot, like a long shot type of thing.
And what it takes to build one. But if the current era of the NBA has taught us anything, it's that dynasties might just be a thing of the past. Every generation has seen at least one of these teams, whether it was the Celtics and the Lakers in the 80s, the Bulls of the 90s, the Lakers and Spurs in the 2000s, and the Warriors in the 2010s. And they have played a pivotal role throughout NBA history. At least they did, up until recently. Since 2019, the NBA has seen a different champion every year. 7 different teams across 7 seasons. The longest span of unique title winners in NBA history. As if winning a championship wasn't difficult enough, winning another one is magnitudes more difficult. And in recent times, it has become nearly impossible. With every team that shows signs of building something that will truly last, comes the stark reminder that it probably won't. Players seeking greener pastures, a championship run often bringing out the egos in everyone involved. They lose sight of the team. Sometimes it can simply be a logistical nightmare to keep a winning team together. Injuries can throw off timelines, young players get too expensive, old players get even older, the mileage adds up, and the window closes a whole lot faster than you would ever expect. Which means one of 2 things is true. Either we are truly in the era of parity and analytics, the speed of information, modern-day roster constructions, and the depth of talent has made it virtually impossible to build a lead on the competition, or there will be a dynasty of the 20s. We just haven't seen it yet, but we may be looking at one in the making. In a league where talent is a rotating door and assets are thrown around like cheap commodities, the Thunder have taken an unconventional route to a title, actually developing players and building from within. Roster continuity is an ever-increasing point of emphasis in the NBA today. Recent history has shown that the once
I ain't gonna lie, when you look at it like that, I never looked at it like that. Yo, Drew, what's the word, my nigga? How you feeling, gang? I ain't gonna lie. When you put it like that, that is an interesting thing, bro. There's been a new champion in the league every year for the past 7 years. And it's crazy because I said that Boston was gonna go back to back. I mean, the smart nigga in me would say, OKC finna go back to back. I don't even know if they finna go back to back, bro. Like, shit. But I just don't know if anybody could beat them, bro. Like, the way the league is set up right now, I don't think it's a single team in the league that could fuck with them for real. But then I said that shit about But then again, I think Boston and OKC really would have been like neck and neck though. Like I think that really would have been like that really was a rivalry. Whether or not Boston would have beat them niggas or OKC would have won, I think it would have been like Cavs and Warriors. Like it just would have been kind of back and forth a little bit because I think they perfectly matched. I ain't gonna front, but Tatum getting hurt,
building
they lost Porzingis, lost Drew.
Centered around a couple of superstar talents with little to no supporting cast was a failing model. 2019, the average roster
Sam Presti and Brad Stevens
teams, essentially how much a team stayed the same from one season to the next, was about 61%. That means on average, 61% of these championship teams' minutes were filled by players from the previous season's roster. The 2025 Thunder had a roster continuity of 79%, meaning the vast majority of their minutes were played by guys who they purposefully built around rather than outsourcing. In this new era of deep, consistent rosters where chemistry and fit matter just as much as talent, the OKC Thunder have built the youngest, most continuous roster in the entire league while being the best team in the league. But the anomalous nature of this team doesn't end there, because the Thunder's front office has built this team for the future. I think they would be the first to admit that this immense success, although part of the plan, was not expected to come this early, and evidence of this can be found here. Among the championship teams in this era of parity, the 2020 Lakers have had the lowest payroll, winning a title with just the 11th most expensive team in the league. These other rosters sitting well amongst the most expensive teams in the NBA at the time.
Damn.
This year's Thunder roster had the 25th highest payroll in the NBA. This team has their future growth already baked into the numbers. Where many teams of the past had to break up their core or watch key players
they don't got
to money, the Thunder are one of the cheapest rosters in the league, giving themselves room to offer the highest bid to anyone who may want to leave or inevitably be up for an extension. They say money can't buy championships, but it sure does help. Fortunately, the Thunder just won one of the cheapest rings in NBA history, but possibly the largest positive indicator for the future of this team and a reflection of just how abnormal their accomplishments are is the fact that they are the sole owner of the largest draft stockpile in the entire league, with 24 picks over the next 5 seasons. Now, this has been a big development over the last couple of seasons, just how good the Thunder are while sitting on 1 million picks, but the
Dog. Oh man, look at the fucking Nets, bro. We got all these damn picks and still fucking suck. Damn, why did you show this graphic, Jimmy? Anybody want to see the fact that the Nets, my niggas got all these picks and we still ass. Like, I just don't get it, bro. We got all these picks and we still suck, bro. I just don't get it, bro. We like, damn, man. Can we get like, where's the Sam Presti's at, my nigga? Like, I know Sam Presti got a cousin or some shit. Like, where the fuck? Like, come on, dog.
The Thunder actually winning a championship changes everything and makes these assets look even more unbelievable.
Bro.
You want to see the cost of trying to win now? The teams that are highlighted represent the 8 teams that made it past the first round of the playoffs this season. Nearly all of them near the bottom of the league in terms of draft capital. Even more shocking, when we highlight the last 5 championship teams, they are the bottom 5 in the league in terms of future draft picks.
So OKC is literally set up crazy, bro. Like, it's no reason, like, okay, let's say OKC doesn't win next year. They're conference finals at best. Or maybe even go to the finals and lose in the finals. And then even then after that year that they lose, if they lose next year, the season after that, they're set up to win that. Like, bro, OKC is no reason that in the next 5 years they shouldn't win at least 3 out of them 5 chips, bro. Like, real shit. They're set up perfectly, bro. Like, that shit's crazy. That's crazy.
It comes at a hefty price. A price that the Thunder managed to completely evade. Outside of OKC, the only team that made it out of the first round while maintaining more than their fair share of draft picks were the Pacers. Every other team that is within vicinity of OKC is nowhere near even competing for a championship right now. In fact, the only reason why a team should even have as much draft capital as the Thunder do is if they have essentially forfeited the next season or two in an attempt to rebuild. Meanwhile, the Thunder just completed one of the best seasons of all time while simultaneously building a gluttony of assets for the future. This is unheard of. Usually, in fact, almost always, you do not get to be good now and be good later. You have to go all in on one or the other. Except, of course, if you're Sam Presti and the Thunder and you are attempting to do what no team can seem to pull off, be the next great NBA dynasty. But as it stands, the 2025 Thunder have already defied the odds. A young, small market team that was built from homegrown talent, not only stamping their name in every record book, but cementing their legacy as NBA champions and doing it smarter, faster, and about as unlikely as any team ever has.
Shit. I ain't gonna lie, I say this shit at like the end of every Jimmy video. I'll be like, damn, when you put it like that, Jimmy, you a smart ass man. You know what I'm saying? When you put it like that, bro, you spitting, bro. All jokes aside, when you put it like that, bro. First said, Jimmy, my life has changed completely since last video. I got 3 kids, got married, finished high school, graduated college, got a high-paying job, traveled the world, retired, got 5 grandsons, and can finally watch a new video. Thank you. Fucking time. Peace now. What the fuck? Dynasties are over. The 3 biggest rival any championship teams is Achilles, ACL, and the CBA. Nah, real shit though. Real shit, literally, bro. Achilles, ACL, and the CBA. Nah, facts though. Nah, niggas is funny, bro. Nigga said the fact Jimmy remembered his password after 2 months is a miracle. Nah, nigga said I think the series does something great for the NBA. Rubs salt in the wound of all the big market teams with endless media attention and the glaze and forces them to talk basketball. I'm telling you, bro. That's why I say, like, I think I was saying this shit to somebody earlier too before I end this video. That big market shit, this whole play for New York, play for LA, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that shit is over, bro. Cause all of them teams ain't like, bro, like that. To be honest, they're not building for the future. I could say the only team that is kind of in that realm of trying to build for the future, I'll say the Lakers in that Luka trade. But to be real, like, I ain't gonna lie, OKC is they got it, bro. Like they are literally set up, bro. Small market team then showed all these big market teams how to get it done. You know what I'm saying? Like how to make this shit work. I ain't gonna lie, the 2019 Raptors are a good example, kind of something similar too. You feel me? Where they had a whole bunch of homegrown talent. The only thing they needed was a player to kind of get them over the hump. A la Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard was the nigga to get them over. They need to get rid of DeRozan, get Kawhi, and look what happened. You know what I'm saying? They got them a chip. And who knows, if Kawhi would have stayed, they might have built a little something in Toronto. But hey man, that's tough though, bro. W Jimmy, great video, man. Gotta like my dog video. And yeah, man, hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all did, leave a like for me. Subscribe channel if you're new. Turn on post notifications. And I'm gonna hop on next video, man.